So recently, when I was playing No Man's Sky, I accidentally came across a feature that I totally forgot even existed in the game. And you know what? That kind of got me thinking, what are some of the other smaller yet often forgotten about features of No Man's Sky? So with that said, I decided to create this video going over some of those forgotten features. Now, some of them you may be like, I use that one quite a lot. Some of them you may be thinking, God damn, how have I forgot about that? And some of them you may even be thinking, what? How did I not know this was a thing? So with that said, make sure you stick around to the end of the video so you don't miss out on anything important. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get stuck in. Right, I'll start off with talking about text formatting in various areas of the game, as I came across it again on Reddit, and it's basically the inspiration for this video. Obviously, this is nothing new, but the whole point of this video is forgotten features, right? Well, Reddit user the John Zoo created a comprehensive text style and formatting guide, which you should be able to see on your screens now, but I will also link the Reddit post in the description for you to check it out for yourselves. Basically, this text formatting allows you to do a couple of things. The first of those is to add a small icon of your choice to text fields, and the second one is to change the colour of the text itself. Like, this can come especially useful on planets where you've got loads of bases or other discoveries marked all over the place. Or even if you just fancy a change and want to make the naming of things a little bit more interesting. You can do this for your base names, planet names, system names, and other markers. So why don't you give the Reddit post a look and make some interesting labels? And in a similar vein to the different formatting of text, another small feature can be seen if you decide you want to change the colour of your base computer. By doing this, you will also notice that the icon of your base will change to match the colour of the base computer itself. Again, this is useful if you have decided to build a base on a planet which contains a whole bunch of other bases from different players. So for some reason, this next one has cocked up a bit for me, but hopefully it hasn't for you guys. After I completed the Omega Expedition, the vast majority of discoveries and whatnot have disappeared for me. But anyway, the next forgotten about feature in the list is the Wonders Catalogue, which was introduced to the game as part of the Fractal update. Now, I always forget this is here, but it's a really good and useful feature because it keeps track of some of our rarest and strangest discoveries. The discoveries themselves don't trace back beyond June of 2021 sadly, but it does include absolutely everything since then. Now, the Wonders Catalogue captures information from 6 different categories of discovery. The first one is treasures, which keeps track of the most valuable version of any different variation of the artifacts the player has found, useful if you want a quick payday. The next one shows us our collection of stabilized glitches, which we found on exotic planets, so you know, things like light fishes, capillary shells, and bubble clusters. The next one shows us planet records. So this covers a range of items like the highest peak, the hottest and coldest temperatures you've experienced, the most radioactive planets, the smallest and the largest planets you've experienced, the deepest ocean, the most perfect planet in terms of paradise. Honestly, it's just a total boatload of cool planetary information. Now, we can see similar things around creatures that we've come across in the next category. So, you know, things like largest and smallest creatures, greatest freeze tolerance, most corrosive blood, and other funky bits of information like that. Honestly, I didn't even know Hello Games tracked some of this kind of stuff, but here we are. The penultimate category applies a boatload of information about flora, so things like the most invasive, the deepest roots, age, and so on. And the final of the 6 categories is mineral records, with yet even more information underneath them. Honestly, just have a look through the Wonders catalogue, it really is full of pretty darn cool and useful info, which is all tailored to your specific discoveries from June 2021 onwards. Now, this one is a pretty small feature, but when you're warping between systems in your ship, you can in fact do a barrel roll if you tap LB or L1 or RB or R1 3 times. Now, I've only tried this recently in my solar ship as I've been doing the Omega Expedition, but I've heard a few classes of ships can't actually do a barrel roll when you're warping between systems. But I do believe this also works for fighters, so when it comes to haulers and big chunky ships like that, it may not work. Now, I've no idea why it may not work for all ship classes, but here we are. It's still a pretty cool little feature though, right? So, there are many reasons to delve into the depths of the planet's surface in No Man's Sky, so things like excavating ancient bones or salvage technology, avoiding storms, finding that last damn creature that you've not scanned, mining cobalt, or just gathering reasonably valuable resources that you've seen through your analysis visor. But after you've done all of that good stuff, getting back to the surface isn't the quickest nor the easiest thing in the world, but there is a feature that will get you back to the surface on the planet instantly. I mean, well, it could be a glitch to be fair, but either way it works great and I've used it a lot and it saves you a load of time. So, whilst you're underground, create yourself a little hole and then take out your terrain manipulator and stick it into restart mode. Then point directly at your feet and fire. You'll instantly be teleported back to the surface of the planet and voila. Now, this has been around for quite a while, so it's either a feature or a glitch that Hello Games have decided not to fix. It's useful though. Right, let's say you want to craft some resources to build a base, or craft some warp fuel for your ship's hyperdrive, or craft, well, literally anything really. Sometimes you want to craft more than one of said resource, which can take time by just crafting one at a time. But one often forgotten feature is knowing that you can in fact craft multiple of each item at once, assuming you have enough resources to do so, of course. Now, this took me so damn long to figure out, and I always forget the damn thing exists, but it's super simple. You just need to press L1 and R1 or LB and RB on PC and Xbox respectively to craft more than one, and I believe the same buttons to do so if you're a PC player are A and D. Now, I don't play on PC, so someone may need to confirm that, but Google tells me it's A and D. And after this, you'll be crafting God knows how many resources in a hell of a lot less time. So, how about the galaxy map? Now, if you're wanting to jump a great distance in your starship after upgrading your hyperdrives, or jump an even greater distance in your freighter with a fully upgraded hyperdrive on that, sometimes it can take you a while to get to your jump limit when navigating the galaxy map. But did you know there is a small feature to greatly speed up the movement of the galaxy map, and all you have to do is use your melee button? Yep, it's that simple. It's a feature that is often overlooked, forgotten about, or not even known to some players. So just hit your melee button when in the galaxy map and voila, uber fast travel. Now, reasonably later on to your No Man's Sky career, you may find yourself strapped for storage space, even with a fully upgraded exosuit, freighter and starship, and you don't want to keep going back to your different bases which have storage containers in them to drop off or pick up some resources. Well, right here is where sometimes forgotten nutrient processor comes in handy. Do you remember, or even did you know, that the nutrient processor has its own storage capacity of 50 slots? Yep, well I always forget this exists. It's super handy in one sense because you can store 50 slots worth of stuff in there and then pick it up, so it's only taking up one storage slot in your exosuit. But on the other hand, I think the only resources you can use in these are cooking ingredients, at least as far as I'm aware. So they can only be stored in there, though the best part is when you put it back down, all of the resources you stored in there will still be there. So as you can see, it's a neat little feature that you may have forgotten about. So, do you want to find yourself lush and paradise planets quickly? Of course you do, at least most people do anyway, but do you know there is a little feature that gives you a good indication whether or not a system contains one? Well, in the galaxy map, firstly, you want to select yellow star systems because they're going to be containing lush planets, at least some of them are anyway. But the next thing you want to look at is the number and the letter describing said system. Now, if you look out for an F6 or G6 system, as they are more likely to get you lush planets, whereas systems with, say, P6 or PF6 are more likely to give you extreme weather planets. Now, I'm not 100% sure why the letters have any significance, but I've been following this little forgotten feature for quite some time and I haven't gone wrong yet. Right, let's say you want to find yourself a not so common resource that you may have come across in the past, but you don't want to spend ages bunny hopping systems and scanning planets just to be in chance of finding a planet with that resource. Because did you know there is a far quicker way to find resources that you've already found in the past? Yep, all you need to do is go into your catalogue, select the resources that you need at the time, and then use the find resource option to locate that resource nearby. It doesn't matter if that resource is in another system because when you go to the galaxy map, the system containing that resource will be marked there as well. Now, I always used to forget about this damned useful little feature, and did you know this feature is also another way for you to find Lush and Paradise planets quickly? For a full breakdown on how that works, check out my recent video, which I've linked in the description for you. And there you have it, folks. There are a bunch of smaller and likely forgotten features in No Man's Sky. Some of them are damned useful and some of them are just damn cool. Now, if there are some other smaller features that I've not mentioned in this video, why don't you leave a comment below letting me know what exactly that is. And I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful, and if you're still here, it would be totally awesome if you could support my channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. You can now become a channel member as well, and as always, thank you for watching this video, and I shall catch you in the next one.